With a game as popular as Geometry Dash, there's bound to be a couple cheaters who shortcut their way to success and fame. Today, I'll go over 3 of the biggest cheating scandals in this game's history. Each event gets more crazier and controversial as you go through the video, so be sure to stick around. Without further ado, let's get started. If you played the game back in 2017, you definitely know who Noctify is. He was a talented French star grinder who managed to rise to the top of the leaderboards after a stupidly hard grind. 20,000 stars in 3 months. You probably don't even have a fraction of that. What was unique about him was that he was a very skilled demon slayer too. Noctify breezed over a couple top 50 levels. For this reason, he was seen by many as one of the greatest players in the game. With his #1 spot in place, Noctify would take on his biggest project yet, verifying the level Zaf Kiel. It was a collab between him and another French player named Darwin. It had ridiculous wave sections and timings. After a short grind with about 10,000 attempts, he beat it and posted a recording of his completion online. It was a top 5 level at the time, and many congratulated him on his accomplishments. You've probably never beaten an extreme demon, let alone a top 5. But in the footage he posted, it suspiciously froze near the end at 92%. This implied he cut the level, meaning he brought 2 recordings of 2 different attempts, one from 0 and one from the last bit of the level, and edited them together to make it look like it was done in one seamless run. When people try to get away with cuts, they usually hide it. Maybe they do it during a dark transition where nobody will notice. But Noctify's video had this massive, obvious black hole at the end, which is just a bit funny to me. Did he not think he'd get caught? With the cut in Zaf Kiel, people began to get suspicious of Noctify's other achievements, and this trust exploded when he took on Death Corridor. It was a stupidly hard level with iconic wave sections. One player, Tosh Deluxe, couldn't believe that Noctify beat such a difficult project, and he made an exposing video. In it, he takes 2 clips of Noctify playing the level and layers them on top of each other in a video editing software. He then shows how the movements in both attempts looked very similar, implying that he used a macro hack to complete the level. You see, with a macro, you can save a set of clicks on your PC and play them back, like what I'm doing in this example. In practice mode, I'm recording my clicks and creating a macro with this program so that when I go back into normal mode and play it back, the game is running itself. The fact that Noctify's movements look so similar made Tosh suspect that he was playing back a macro, and the tiny changes were him tweaking the program so it wouldn't be so suspicious. I honestly don't buy this accusation. With a level with such tight timings as this one, you're bound to have similar clicks with each run, as there's not much wiggle room. But regardless of the legitimacy of the arguments, the video garnered thousands of views and cast doubt on Noctify's achievements. Tosh would come back again, this time exposing this layout that Noctify completed. At first glance, it looks legitimate enough. There's no obvious no-clipping or hacks or anything like that. But just stop and look at how the wave entered the portal over here. When waves enter reverse portals like this, they switch gravity immediately upon contact. But here, it's going in a lot deeper than usual. This is implying that the portal isn't being used to flip the gravity, and instead, there's a blue pad in there. Now, why would he do that? Well, if there's a blue pad there, then there's probably a blue pad at every other part in the level, making the entire thing completely auto. Hiding blue pads like that is as simple as setting their opacity to 0 with the alpha trigger. They usually play a little animation when you touch them, even when invisible. But if you play in low detail mode, this little giveaway is hidden too. And the most damning piece of evidence against this run is the fact that he didn't record his clicks. Noctify never did in any of his completions. Showing clicks is an easy way to filter out hackers, as it's pretty hard to fake. Like, if I'm showing you a recording of me playing this hard level, it's hard to tell if I was actually playing or not if I didn't show you my clicks too. For all you know, I could just be lounging around, not even touching my mouse while I'm letting a macro play for me. The fact that Noctify never showed his clicks, even in his other completions, was very sketchy. Man, this Tosh Deluxe guy sure is doing a great job at exposing Noctify. Wouldn't it be funny if he got exposed for his own actions in a controversy that nearly brought down his entire career? That's called foreshadowing. Riot, another popular player, jumped on the exposing trend with Tosh and made a video that compiled most of the evidence against Noctify that had come up over the past few weeks. He pointed out a lot of interesting things, like the fact that he claimed to have gotten 98% on the Hell Factory, a top 50, despite the fact that it's impossible to die at 98% on this level. There's no obstacles there to kill you. Noctify attempted to make a response to this video, but it was no use. Practically the entire community sided against him, and RobTop banned him from the Stars leaderboard, not before renaming his account to Hacktify. Nice one, Rob. With his back against the wall, Noctify finally gave up and admitted to cheating on some of his major achievements. It's unclear if he also cheated his way to the #1 spots, but that didn't matter. Trust in the game's greatest player was gone. Noctify renamed himself to Noctalium to signal a change away from cheating, and he started playing the game more casually before leaving the community and switching to Osu. The game's biggest player, who held the top spot and the top demons, turned out to be the game's biggest fraud, but this doesn't compare to what's coming up next. Tosh Deluxe